creating a positive social and emotional climate. A positive social emotional climate is the cornerstone of a great classroom. Students learn best when they feel respected, accepted, and emotionally safe. A place where they are interacting with caring people whom they trust. To be successful, a teacher must constantly work on creating such an environment. Two of the basic ingredients of a positive social emotional climate in the classroom are the physical environment and the attitude of the teacher. Within moments of a student entering a classroom, he will have an emotional perception of what awaits him there. If the only things on the walls are curriculum-related materials, the school motto, and the class's rules and regulations, the student will feel that the teacher's primary concern is to pound information into heads rather than engaging and educating students as persons. On the other hand, when a student enters a warm, welcoming physical environment, he will subconsciously discern that he's entering the realm of someone who cares. Decorating your walls with inspiring pictures and quotations, including pictures that serve as an introduction to your hobbies and family, conveys warmth. As the year proceeds, you will want to add displays of student-created materials. While the physical environment can initiate positive emotional expectations, the main power source for a positive social-emotional climate is, of course, the teacher. A healthy classroom revolves around a teacher who combines high academic expectations with empathy and care. This combination of nurture and rigor upon the part of a teacher is like giving students emotional and intellectual steroids. Growth is virtually guaranteed. A teacher's responsibility for establishing such a climate is daunting. Everyone has good days and off days. Yet, great teaching requires that a person reach deep down within his emotional resources every day and extract the feelings of warmth and care that each student seeks and needs. This means consciously striving on a daily basis to exude enthusiasm for the subject material and for the opportunity of being a positive influence, educationally and emotionally, in the lives of kids. It's not a matter of putting on a fake front while feeling depressed. It's a matter of realizing that the class is not your therapist and that, while you are with them, they deserve your very best. It's the deepest form of caring, loving without condition, even when you really don't feel much like doing so. Project an energized mood. Motivational speakers are keenly aware of their power to emotionally lift their audiences. They use tone, pitch, volume, and cadence to keep people's attention and to influence their emotions and feelings. The most important factor, however, is the attitude and demeanor of the speaker. An excited orator can rouse an audience, while a disinterested speaker will soon have the crowd winding their watches and counting their pocket change. In similar fashion, teachers have the power to lift the emotions of a class. A positive demeanor and attitude are contagious. If a teacher just sits and monotones through a lecture, school rules or not, the smartphones will come out. On the other hand, a teacher who likes teaching what she's teaching and who obviously finds it a joy to be with her students will have kids clamoring to be in her class. A secondary music teacher says, "My attitude is important in the scheme of classroom climate. The more enthusiastic I am, the more motivated the students are. Many times, their enthusiasm rubs off on me too. A positive rapport with my students will not only help them in the academic area, but in the classroom discipline area. A greeting when they walk in the room not only sets the tone for the day, but also lets them know how glad I am they are there." Ways of creating a positive environment. In building a warm, social, emotional climate, teachers must remember that the climate depends on each student's being offered unconditional love and care. Ways to create caring relationships with your students include the following. Learn the names of every student in the class and call them by name in the classroom and hallways. It is especially effective to greet each student by name and with a smile as they enter the classroom. Tell students individually that you care about them academically and personally. The words, "I care," affirm a student's intrinsic value as a person and can have a profound impact upon the student's attitude and behavior. Provide good eye contact to a student when she is speaking to you or you are speaking to her. It indicates that the conversation is important to you and that you are paying attention to what the student is saying. Be generous with high fives, fist bumps, handshakes, and pats on the shoulder. While being careful not to abridge your school's rules, an appropriate physical touch is a way of displaying care. Give each student some individual attention. Check to see how a student is handling an assignment. Ask how she is doing in a sport or other extracurricular activities. Attend an event in which he is participating. Make sure that your subject material is inclusive. Content that has a multicultural appeal and that includes a variety of perspectives and multiple views helps produce a positive climate. Whenever possible, give students choices. A world history teacher can tell a class, "Do you want me to tell you about the Maasai people in Kenya, or would you rather break into small groups with each person taking a small reading assignment and then discuss the Maasai within your group? It's your call." Giving students choices helps them to feel ownership of the class. Encourage discussion and then honor students' opinions. Even when a student comment is off base, say, "That's an interesting perspective, Roberto. Thanks. Let me share with you another way of looking at the matter, and then I want to hear from the rest of you too." When kids feel that they are being heard, they feel valued. Never humiliate or embarrass a student, either publicly or privately. Not only will the student be emotionally harmed, it will have a serious, deleterious impact upon the social, emotional atmosphere in the classroom. Put an immediate end to any student behavior that seems biased, bigoted, or prejudiced. Usually, the behavior can be stopped by simply calling the offending student by name. "Shannon." While it is important for a teacher from the outset of class to clearly and succinctly state the class rules, it is at least as important for a teacher to let her students know that she cares about them. When children feel a teacher's unconditional regard, the positive impact upon the social emotional climate is enormous. One of the best ways to ascertain the quality of the classroom climate is to ask the students how they feel about it. You can pass out index cards to all the students. Ask students to respond anonymously to one or both of the following questions. "I feel comfortable participating in this class?" Circle 1. A being always, B being often, C being sometimes, D rarely, and E never. One or two things that would make me feel more comfortable in this class would be: collect the responses and study them for common themes. Share your findings in the next class session and explain to students what changes you will make, if any. The very act of asking students for their opinions and suggestions regarding the social, emotional atmosphere in your class will engender positive feelings. And based upon the survey, if substantive changes, or even tweaks, need to be made, implement them. Doing so makes a powerful statement regarding your desire to make yours a class in which students are valued and respected. Summing up, a positive classroom climate doesn't just drop out of the ceiling tiles. It is created by a caring teacher who intentionally shows care through a welcoming physical environment and by making each student feel respected, wanted, and unconditionally loved. The efforts of a teacher who provides that climate are far-reaching and have the power to engender hope, provide needed knowledge, and change students' lives. Here are some things to remember in creating a positive social-emotional climate. A positive social-emotional climate is the cornerstone of a great classroom. Students learn best when they feel respected, accepted, and emotionally safe. A warm, welcoming physical environment contributes to a positive climate. An energized teacher can lift the emotions and spirits of her class. Learn the names of students and greet them by name when they enter the classroom. Tell students that you care about them academically and as persons. Never humiliate or embarrass a student, either publicly or privately. Distribute a survey asking students if they feel comfortable in your class. Act upon any valid suggestions you receive for enhancing the social-emotional climate in your classroom.